This is Joe Washington. That is Joe Washington. That is Joe Washington. He's on his feet. He has great speed. That is Joe Washington. How can it happen? What a football game this turned out to be. Here he is, Jim McMahon, taking over for the Bears. Pressure on the first play and right open. I love it. Willie Gault, forget it. McMahon paid the price, but he got the touchdown. You're looking at a live shot of the skyline of Cleveland, Ohio on Light Up Cleveland night. They're very proud, the powers that be of the city, of the urban renewal that has transpired over the past few years, and they're showing it off tonight on the occasion of our game between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Cleveland Browns. And tonight, you'll see it live, the AFC Central Division champion Browns against the Bengals in a special presentation of ABC's NFL of football. This ABC Sports exclusive is brought to you by Ford and your local Ford dealer, who invites you to see the 1986 Ford cars and trucks. Have you driven a Ford lately? By Miller Lite, for great taste, there's only one light beer. By McDonald's, it's a good time for the great taste of McDonald's. And by Kellogg's all-brand cereal. Hello again, everyone. I'm Frank Gifford, and if you think you've been watching a lot of football lately, you have been watching a lot of football lately. Monday, Thursday, Monday, Thursday, Monday. We think we're in Cleveland for Cincinnati, but we know we'll be in Green Bay for the Bears on Monday night. And while you've been watching it, we've been traveling to these various cities, and tonight we think we have a real good card for you. The Cleveland Browns, the Central Division champions of a year ago, albeit with an 8-8 record against the Cincinnati Bengals, a young team on the way up. The two teams, perhaps the power of the Central Division here in the AFC. The Cleveland Browns, their defense has started to come together. Chip Banks came in late, the great linebacker. Ray Ellis is opening at strong safety, a former Philadelphia Eagle. They've only had him a couple of weeks, but they are starting to come together, and they feel that now it is the Cleveland Browns defense that they anticipated they would have. But on offense, that is where they are looking to see great things from a youngster out of the University of Miami who should still be playing his senior year of football. There he is, Bernie Kosar, 6'5", and he may perhaps really came together against Chicago in the opener a couple of weeks ago. And he was patient against Houston last week when he finally found a man on the blitz, a speedster named Reggie Langhorne. He waited and waited, and he finally hit him, and the Cleveland Browns came from behind to win that one. And there is always Ozzie Newsome, number 82, the most prolific receiver in the game of football over the past 5 years. So Bernie Kosar has some fine people to work with. Should be a good football game. And when we think of offense, you think of the Cincinnati Bengals, Al, and they have a funny way of unleashing it, however. Their coach, Sam Weish, has a funny kind of attack.
The irony here is that the Bengals are so potent, they in their own way and own right could be lighting up Cleveland tonight, lighting up the scoreboard. Anyway, if you have not seen the Cincinnati Bengals in a while, they are a very potent offensive team with some different twists. They have things like the sideline huddle and the split huddle, and also what they call the fast break. We'll develop that as the telecast moves along. In a way, they remind you of a track team or a basketball team, and they very much remind you of the San Diego Chargers in the sense they score a lot of points, but the big question is defense. Now, they do have the tools to make it work offensively with all of the twists and the innovations under third-year coach Sam Weish. They have a great young quarterback. They talk about Bernie Kosar in Cleveland. Well, the answer in Cincinnati is the left-hander Boomer Esiason out of the University of Maryland. Up-and-coming quarterback who has James Brooks coming out of the backfield, and he has Chris Collinsworth and Eddie Brown and people like that. And the Bengals are a team capable of putting 30 or 40 points on the board on any given day or night. A case in point would be on Sunday when they went into overtime to beat the Buffalo Bills 36-33. But the big question in Cincinnati is defense. If they get a decent defensive performance this season, well, this division is up for grabs. It will probably only take 9 or 10 wins at most to win the AFC Central, and these two teams could very well be the cream of the crop in the AFC Central, where we know Pittsburgh has problems, where we know Houston is improving, but whether they'll contend all the way or not is a question. The Browns are the defending AFC Central champs, and the Cincinnati Bengals come off a season in which they were 7-9. Matt Barr, the average start after he has kicked off this season for the opposition has been the 31-yard line, and just to put that in perspective, the average last year was the 24-yard line for the opposition. So what it tells you is that they've been running back kicks off Barr thus far this year, including Dennis Gentry's run back on opening day for Chicago. It's fielded by Tim McGee, the rookie wide receiver, and he takes it out to the 18-yard line. And the crowd fired up immediately. For the Browns, their home opener, and the first time they have been here at Cleveland Stadium since the first game of the exhibition season. So it's been 6 weeks since they played a game here. And here come the Bengals. They were huddled on the sideline that time with Sam Weich, and now they come out as an 11-man unit and start without the huddle, with Boomer Esiason, number 7, the quarterback, James Brooks and Larry Kinnebrew, the running backs. Brooks, 21, and Kinnebrew, the big man, 28. And it's Brooks on a sweep, looking for a block, moving to the outside, and out of bounds at the 20-yard line. So Brooks gains only 2, and it'll be 2nd down and 8. Eddie Johnson ran him out of bounds.
As we look at the Cleveland defense, we may point out that the Cincinnati Bengals will run from the different types of huddle. They'll stand at the line of scrimmage. They call it a split huddle. They use that about 40% of the time. Right now, they're in what you would characterize as a regulation huddle. They have an attack huddle. They mostly use that on the 3rd down where they call the play at the line of scrimmage. And what you are seeing right now is the split huddle. The offensive line comes up, and then the backs and receivers come up very quickly, try to catch the defense before they are set, and they go very quickly with it.
And on 2nd and 8, play action on a roll by Esiason, and the lefty throws complete for a first down to Rodney Holman, the tight end, running a sideline route. Holman, the 5-year tight end out of Tulane, and already this season in the 2 games, he's caught 10 passes.
That was an example of their split huddle. The offensive line comes up first to the line of scrimmage. Play called in the huddle. And then the wide receivers and setbacks will deploy. Here you see the offensive line up to the line of scrimmage. Now, the receivers, the setbacks, they'll move quickly, and they usually snap the ball very quickly before the defense can adjust.
Collinsworth and Brown, meanwhile, are both split to the right side, and the big man, Kinnebrew, is stopped by Griggs after a gain of a couple. Kinnebrew, their leading ball carrier through the first 2 games this season. In your program, he's listed at 258. Last year, he got up into the 270s, so it's pretty much a day-to-day proposition. But they want to see him in the 250s at the most, and preferably down around 245.
The split huddle once again. 2nd down and about 6. Here come the backs and receivers. Does it bother the Browns? Marty Schottenheimer says they used it last year. It didn't affect us one way or the other.
With Brown to the left and Collinsworth to the right, Esiason for Brown, and he's out of bounds at the 29-yard line. He made the catch, but he was out of bounds, and he was covered by Hanford Dixon on the play.
They are going to be dueling all night, these wide receivers, and they have great speed. This is Eddie Brown, 2nd year out of Miami, working against Hanford Dixon. Now, Hanford Dixon is about 5'10". The other cornerback is Frank Menefield. He is 5'9". Keep in mind that Chris Collinsworth, a great wide receiver, is 6'5". But these 2 wide cornerbacks, they love to play man-to-man defense. They're very aggressive. They don't like to play a zone.
There'll be good matchup to watch tonight. 3rd down and 6 at the 38 for Cincinnati. Opening drive of the game. Esiason under pressure, forced to throw in a hurry, and incomplete. Intended for Mike Martin, and he was covered by Menefield. And so the crowd responds because they know that Cincinnati has to punt, and Cleveland's offensive unit will be coming in.
Timing pass. Menefield is 5'9". Mike Martin not much taller, but they know they can get it over, or at least they think they can. Menefield within good position. That ball, however, could have been caught. Tough little cookie on that left corner, as is Hanford Dixon over the right side.
Jeff Hayes, who spent 4 seasons with Washington, and that's the man they call the Ice Cube, Gerald McNeil, at 5'7" and 146 pounds. Played in the USFL. Hayes comes down with a high snap, and it's a very short kick. And it takes a sideways bounce and is down to the 34-yard line. So not a good kick for Hayes, who's been having his problems in his brief Bengal career as the successor to Pat McInally. Cleveland has the ball when we come back.